Alright guys, welcome back to another lesson. It's me, Sam, and I have a request today. So, on my last video, I got a comment about an open string lick from Adam Des 0T0. So, thanks for the comment, Adam. Super appreciate that. And if anyone else wants to leave some comments of some requests, I will check into it. So, what can I tell you about open strings? You know, I think from the moment that I started playing Thunderstruck by AC/DC, I knew that the open strings were my friends. And, you know, as guitar players, we love soloing in the key of E. And, you know, just explaining that briefly, every one of my open strings is in the key of E minor pentatonic. So, you know, open strings, there's so many of my favourite guitar players that use open strings to play fast. Gary Moore, Eddie Van Halen, Michael Schenker, Randy Rhodes. There's a huge list. Jimmy Page, you know. And it's really nice because the open string does a huge amount of work for you. So I'm going to be working out of the key of E today. G is also great for open strings, so is A. You know, just think about what your open strings are and how you can fit them into a minor pentatonic. Anyway, I digress. So many of us know position 1 of the minor pentatonic, and in the key of E, all of your open strings are there for you, right? There's position 1. All open strings, they're all working for you. I'm always encouraging people to learn more of these positions. So position 2 looks like that. 3, 4, 5, 1. So, yeah, let's start in position 2, okay? So, let me show you something that I love doing, and it's almost become, you know, I should probably be putting a dollar into a jar each time I play this lick, because I do it too much. But anyway, let's check it out. So I'm using a pattern there. It's a group of 6 notes. Let me show you these 6 notes on the high E string. I've got A, E, G, A, G, E. Okay, just, you know, group of 6 notes. You can pick that once, and you get all of those extra notes for free. Okay. Let me move that lick around a little bit now. So if you know that second position of the minor pentatonic, you can move it to the B string and the frets stay the same on the B string. You can move it to the G string and you have to do a shift. So I've got fret 4 and 2 on the G string. You can move it onto the D string and it gets a little bit stretchier. I've got fret 5 and 2. But the lick stays the same, right? I'm still doing the same order of frets. There's the A string, 5 and 2 there as well. There's the low E. So just slowly here. If I build it up a little bit. Sometimes I won't even pick that much. Sometimes I'll just sort of do a little bit of a palm mute and just let my left hand do it. Especially if I roll the gain down, it works well with less gain. Let's see. Split the difference. That kind of a thing, right? Sometimes I'm picking more. Sometimes I'm picking twice per string. Like that. Good little lick. So that same idea, if I take that to the 3rd position, I'm still bouncing off to my open strings. It still works. So the 3rd position, I've got frets 7 and 5. I've got frets 8 and 5. I've got frets 7 and 4. I've got got 7 and 5 on the D, and again on the A, and again on the E. So something like that is great too. Alright. Still figuring out my configuration here. What was I going to say? So straight pentatonic is great, but you can also be a little bit ballsy in your note choice. So, being chromatic can be such a great thing. What I can do, as well as playing those minor pentatonic notes, I can use notes from modes, and to be honest, they don't even have to be good sounding notes. So much of this comes down to delivery and your confidence in the delivery and all of that stuff. But let me just sort of play some outside notes here. So that F sharp is pretty safe. That's the major second in the key that we're in. So that kind of thing can work for Dorian and Aeolian. What about if I go up a semitone to this fret number 6? That's the flat 5. The note of Satan himself. If I go further now, if I go up to the fret number 7, you've got the 5 there. Same lick, right? Same lick. It's a little bit like Marge Simpson's dress in that episode of The Simpsons where she's altering it for different occasions, right? Same lick, I'm just trying to get my money's worth, right? B string, so if I move that down to fret 2, that's the major 6, which gives you that Dorian kind of a sound. Or you could use the minor 6, which is the C note on the B string. You could get sort of a dark Aeolian sound there. Made to measure for whatever you need. Moving on to the G string. We've got the flat 5 again there. Sometimes I'll even use that major 3rd. Just as sort of a passing note, because I'm playing semitones apart. A bit of a palm mute could be your friend there, right? If I move over to the D string, you can play the major 7, and it works in that same chromatic way because they're all in a row there. Or you've got the major 2nd at fret 4. I'm using I'm using a lot of numbers here, but you don't necessarily have to think that way. It's passing notes can be like salt and pepper, where you're just sprinkling it on, and you don't really have to be that aware of what you're doing necessarily. Works in those different positions as well. You can really play around with it. I think another really good one for me to touch on here is the lick in Crazy Train as well, that kind of thing. There's a lot of mileage to be had out of that one. And that's one that Gary Moore used as well as Randy Rhodes. You can see him doing that on The Messiah Will Come Again live at Montreux in 1990. He does that kind of... And it's a lot of chromatic stuff, a lot of stuff is rubbing, but you pass through those notes fast enough where no one really notices. Of course, in the key of A, Crazy Train's in A, and it works in like an A major shape if you're on the middle few strings. Again with the palm mute, right? Yeah. Gary Moore had these great licks as well where he just pivoted off of one string and he had this ferocious trill. I can't even get close to the speed that he had, but if you check out his cover of Wishing Well, originally by Free, he does some of those really cool fast licks there. I'm not as fast as Gary. Something that I do just to try to mimic that is do the Billy Sheehan, Paul Gilbert trick. And I can kind of compete a little bit with Gary if I use two hands and cheat. Yeah, it just goes to show what a legend he was and what a phenomenal player. Anyway, guys, yeah, thanks for watching here. So this lesson and all my lessons are brought to you by my series of coasters. We've got Electric Classical, which is a classical record I did 10 years ago or something like that. This is my recent one, Gold Watch Blues. It's almost as instrumental as the others, you know, a little bit of singing on there, but some great solos from some guests. I've got Paul Gilbert playing on this one, and I've got, who else have I got? I've got Jeffrey Downs from Asia and Yes playing on this one, and Fred Mandel did some solos on this one too. And I've got Black Cross from 5 years ago, which is all instrumental. You can check all of those out on my website, and that really helps support the channel, and I really appreciate anyone who's willing to do that. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Please do leave me a comment. Please hit the like button. Please do subscribe, and come see me for some more videos real soon. Okay, cheers, guys. Bye-bye.